Hey guys, welcome back. This is podcast number 2, and we're doing a little bit of a different thing this time. We're going to be talking about music this time around. With me today, I'm joined by my co-host, James.
How you doing?
And with us today, we have 2 special guests. Christopher, my editor of sorts, who does... Well, no, I'm the editor. Blah. Excuse me. He's the guy who does the thumbnail art and basically does the art for us and does the recording for the audio. And he's part of our team, Christopher.
Howdy.
And with us today, special guest is Christian. Christian here is a longtime friend and basically music enthusiast and coin collector. Christian.
What's going on?
And welcome to podcast number 2. It's been a while. So I'm looking to get things started. Today's topic, really, we're just going to be comparing, really, music, kind of getting in a feel for music and just kind of, really just jumping off point is going to be just talking about comparison, songs and, like, genres over the years from the 40s to the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and just kind of, getting into the 90s and now present and whatnot. So with that being said, Christian here is a huge music enthusiast, so I'm going to let him take the reins on the topics moving forward. So, Christian, go ahead.
All right. So, my favorite type of music, it's got to be from the 40s and 50s. So, I think that's a good starting point. We'll start from there, and we'll kind of follow music, how it evolved all the way up, comparing all the different styles we've got to now. So,
Christian, one of the biggest things that you're into is definitely the collecting of
vintage vinyl records.
You're starting to get me into them as well.
The records.
Got a few 45s. We'll get back into that one later, I guess.
Oh, that's a whole story.
When we get to that genre, but
yeah.
With the 40s and 50s, how many have you collected, and are they like expensive over time?
Well, for the 40s and 50s not being too popular with a whole lot of people right now in day and age, the records themselves from that time period, the vintage ones even, they aren't that expensive because not a whole lot of people listens to them. And on top of that, the thick 78s, they didn't get treated a whole lot. I mean, they didn't get treated well, so most of them were very scratched up. So getting a hold of one that is in good shape, that can be a little bit tricky to do, but they won't cost you an arm and a leg. It's still very affordable.
Gotcha.
It's like I've heard
how many have you got, though? How many do you know, or did you just kind of ballpark the number?
We're talking like just overall records, period?
Overall, not a record. Okay, well, first off, how about overall all records you've got? Estimate ballpark, even the ones spanning from now to then, and then give or take, how many do you think of those are like 40s and 50s?
So overall, counting everything I've got, I probably get close to, I'd say 800 to 1,000 records.
I was about to say, like, it seemed like 1,000, because when you pulled out 2 of those boxes, I was over and visited you a couple weeks back, and it was insane. Like, I thought, oh, maybe he's got, like, maybe a box full. No, he has, like storage units worth of this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit, and a lot of it I have acquired just from people just going to throw it out. And I don't even ask what's in it. I just take it all.
That people throw things like this out.
That's our dumb shame.
Yeah, like family friend we've known for a while. He was moving, getting rid of some stuff, and we went over to his house, and he had a huge stack of records. He was like, "Go through there and see what you like," and I picked out one I liked.
The whole thing at this point.
Well, I picked him out, the ones I liked, and he said, "All right, you can just have them, because I'm probably just going to throw the rest of them away." And I was like, hold up. And then I'll just take them all. So I rescued about 200 that day.
Like hidden jewel in there? Any hidden jewels in?
Yeah, I got a few Elvis 45s for the jukeboxes.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Nice.
I remember you said that you did find some like old country as well, like folk music.
Yeah, some off the wall stuff that you really have to dig for and look around to know who they are.
Like even kind of peeps kind of thing.
Yeah, like the band. You don't know who the band is because they're called the band, and if you don't know it, you'd think that you're being broad when you're trying to talk about somebody. But
out of the 40s and 50s, who's your favorite though?
that's got to be,
That's a
man.
hard
There's
one
so
to
much.
answer. I was
There's,
about to say
it's
there's so
because
many soulful.
they're so
There's a lot.
soulful, and the music back then was so powerful.
All right,
That
first few that come to mind, just list them off. List them off. The ones that first come to mind.
oh man, we got the Temptations, the Ink Spots, the Archies,
Mhm.
the Penguins, uh, the Monkeys. They weren't very creative with their names back then. It was the
The
and then
Monkees.
insert word.
And then something, so they had to
Or
like
some
Uh,
animal.
the Platters, the Ink Spots. You know, all
Nat
those
King
just.
Cole was
The
in the
Dirty
I
40s,
Birds.
almost
wasn't he?
forgot. Yeah, Nat King
Nat King
Cole. You got
Cole, Ella
Billie
Fitzgerald,
Holiday,
Cole Porter.
Buddy Holly.
There's quite a few. I think a lot of these characters in particular, and like these people in bands over the time, a lot of them now have been having a resurgence thanks to video games in particular. Going back to the era, we're talking games like the Mafia series, Fallout in particular. That's a really big one.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
especially
people
Fallout.
really remember. They recognize like words like the bands like Ink Spots are definitely a part of that. I mean, like
And a post-apocalyptic
Christopher, what do you think?
thing.
What do you think though? Like, how's your knowledge of the 40s and 50s? Swing pop music.
That's not my field of expertise. I kind of fit in with the crowd.
Did you ever play the Fallout games?
I did. There was definitely.
Did you listen to the radio?
I did. There was definitely some that stuck with me, but I'm gonna be honest. It's not my cup of tea.
Never quite as interest you as like the other genres over the years.
Especially alternate nowadays. Really love that.
There's so many hidden underground bands and nowadays. I find those are the ones that are worth getting into.
Yeah.
But the 40s and 50s were definitely like I think more soulful than ever. But I like the messages and the stories and the way things were going about now in comparison to nowadays. Like back then, it was just you don't get quite much quality like that. And there's something that Christopher or Christian here brought up a while back when we were talking. He said, Christian, you had said, listen to that. There is absolutely no auto tune or anything like that. And I think you really nailed a spot, and it's perfect. It's a perfect analogy of like what music is like today.
Exactly.
Back then they didn't have that. That was all them.
See,
Love it
the
or
thing-
hate it, they were pretty fucking good at singing. Some of these people.
Right, like people like the Ink Spots. I don't want to set the world on fire. It's in Fallout.
That's all them.
Fantastic. And if you want to get a little bit later in the 60s with the Righteous Brothers, those two dudes are absolutely phenomenal.
And they had a very
The
unique sound
range-
to them too. The way they
Yes.
were, it's sort of like
It's like a harmony sort of thing.
Like,
No.
a great song is Unchained Melody. It's sung by just one of the Righteous Brothers, but the range and the vocal techniques that he used in that, he just goes all over the place with it.
It's sort of like a
And it actually takes
harmony
quite a
sort
bit of
thing.
skill to go with that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
I
something you
believe
just
so.
can't fake it kind of thing nowadays. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
to say that people nowadays can't sing. Like, there are modern day singers that are, that can make it. But, like, I find, like, a lot of the radio edits that you hear you can't really appreciate them as much as when you hear them in person, or, like, I find they kind of warped and really mess with today's music, which they just never did back then. You either had it or you didn't, So it's kind of a gamble. It's a 50-50 nowadays.
It's all technology.
If anyone
now,
actually
too.
is, if they're really good or not.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to
Getting into
say.
the 60s, what bands in the 60s in particular that came around and started up that you know of that are really, like, really kind of made their shine in the 60s?
Well, to start off,
There's a good
yes,
one.
Beach Boys. That is another great one. But
They're all still alive to this day. The Beach Boys?
Yeah.
I did
yeah.
not know that, and they're still singing songs and everything. Those guys had it.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's about around the time where they just started, like, the whole recording thing, the whole 8-track recording thing, because I remember I had to study that, the history of sound recording for tech. So they used that, and the Beatles used the same thing. The 8-track recorder. They recorded whatever tracks they did and they played it back. So the 60s was very big into that sort of technology.
Do you have
Yeah.
any 8-tracks in your collection there, Christian?
I do.
Do you know
You got
how
a,
many, or you can ballpark it? What's your favorite? What's your biggest find? I guess like your
My biggest
collective
find,
piece.
the Stairway to Heaven album I have on an 8-track by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
That's
I think
a
that's
big one.
either I think that's actually Zeppelin 4 is what that album's called.
Mhm.
The one, if you know album covers, it's the guy with a bundle of sticks on his back.
Gotcha.
Simple.
Yeah, no words or
And
nothing.
that's
Just
another thing is album covers. Album covers were kind of cool. Like going through the old stores, the record store with you recently, I have to say the albums were a little bit cool, more unique and cooler than with today's. Today's they're like, Photoshop some weird shit.
They're kind of
Put
flashy,
it on
though.
there.
yeah,
More
like
flashy
Flashy's
or a
just-
close up of
let's-
somebody's face. I guess that's always been a thing over the over the years, but I think they just got more creative with it back then, I guess.
yeah, like
You
I
didn't have all this technology kind of make ends meet a different way.
yeah, like the album cover I was just talking about, the guy for the Led Zeppelin album, and I actually have the LP, which is the 33 RPM. The
Oh,
album
really?
cover is literally it's a picture of a wall with a floral wallpaper where it's peeling off, and then hanging on the wall is the picture of the guy with a bundle of sticks on his back.
Oh, nice.
There's no words, no letters. That's it.
Just
And
picture.
then yeah, same with the reverse. It the corner of it shows like it's wallpaper tearing, but it's an actual picture of like an old city of like a real tall building, some shrubs and some brick buildings, but just simple.
I think would you say is the most iconic album cover, though? What is the most well-known top, 5? I'm willing
Well-
to bet Beatles is on there.
Beatles is probably going to
Beatles on
be your
there.
top one because staying with the 60s, the Beatles, like we're getting to earlier, one of the bands that really started to shine, when in the 60s when they got from their like bopper songs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Doo-wop songs and whatnot.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
doo-wop songs when they started
I
like
think one of the most well-known is definitely them walking across Abbey Road.
Abbey Road. Yes,
Abbey
that
Road, yep,
Abbey
yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Any vinyl record
You know what's
collector, he wants the White Album by the Beatles. That's another one.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's
one
just-
you and I found when we were over things. So I told Christian here when we go collecting and shit, looking for stuff. Me primarily, I look for video games and stuff like that. But he was showing me his side of the hobby, and I was like, oh, this is definitely something I'm gonna end up getting into. I know me, I got scatterbrain,
And
I got that trash.
certain ones to look
But,
for and
certain
special
ones to look
prints
for
of them.
But I told him before we went in there, I said, I have this weird ass luck about me. I find crazy shit. And sure enough, we
You
found
do.
the White Album.
an original White Album, not a reprint, an original. It's got the serial number on the front.
And he paid over $100 for that sucker.
Well,
That's crazy.
He had it for
But
$150.
I get it. As a collector, you see something, you want something, you get that. You're just like you pay for something like I was in a store now, and I'm probably gonna go back. $84 for it's getting off track video games, but $84 for a Marvel superheroes versus the Street Fighter. $84 for a Sega Saturn Japanese only version of the game. It's like, oh my god. I'm gonna break bank. I'm gonna have to go get it. I have to go back.
And the
But I get. I
thing
see
is,
that
once
where
you
you're
find
coming
these
from.
pieces, it's like,
Exactly.
oh, dude.
You gotta get it. You gotta get it. You got that trash brand. You're like, you know what? I'm never gonna see it again. I'm gonna get it.
Like,
And I mean,
everyone will be
irritating 'cause I
collecting.
probably should. I should go back and get that. Fuck. And there's nothing worse though than going back to get something and it's just not there.
It's
at
not
all.
there.
Right.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
I should. Why? He's like dropped down to the.
You kind of feel like you missed the opportunity. You know what I mean?
And you go back, and it's like that sinking feeling in your chest. You're like, oh, I should have bought it. I should have got it the first time.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's like,
Luckily-
sir, calm down.
Yeah. But luckily for me, I haven't had that issue because I'm always, like you said, trash brain. Gotta have
Yeah,
it.
the
trash
wall.
brand, so you just
Yeah.
end up buying it. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think the
Although
more
it
you
already-
get, the more you're like, wait, halt! Do you need this? Freak.
not to go off topic, it's the same thing with coins. When you see a key date at a decent price, gotta have it.
Yeah.
With album covers, what besides the Beatles, what do you think's an iconic one? One that comes to mind, and I don't actually. This is gonna shock people. I don't literally listen to them. Pink Floyd's the album, you know, the one I'm talking about with
The
the
Wall.
Prismarine and the Wall.
No. Okay,
right, with
okay.
the triangle.
No, that's not the
Triangle?
wall.
Wrong.
What is
Dark
what
Side
is
of the
that
Moon.
one?
Yeah, that's
Dark
it.
Side of the Moon.
You see that
That's pretty
everywhere.
iconic, though, right?
You
That's
see
like
that on
the black with
T-shirts, posters. Like you got the teenage girls walking around without their shirts, and they probably don't even listen to the band.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Exactly.
wearing it. They don't even realize it. Same with Nirvana. Nirvana's on a lot of
Yeah,
Yes, the
Nirvana,
Nirvana, the smiley
Yeah.
face with the crossed out eyes.
Oh Christ! Yeah. Was
Yeah.
that an album cover, or was that just a logo? That
That was
they were
that was an album cover. That's when
Album cover.
what was on that one?
I know that Smells
I'm
Like
not
Teen Spirit
sure.
would have been on it, right?
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, that one was on it.
Come As You Are is on that one too, I think.
Heart shaped.
I
don't know.
think "Come As You Are" was on a different one because I remember that being on
Oh,
the
right.
one with the baby and the dollar.
Well, this is
Yeah,
more
the
of your.
baby one.
It's
the
more
baby
of your
one.
Yeah.
area of expertise. What you say, Christopher? You know more about the '90s and.
Yeah,
90s
I know,
grunge music, right?
I know a fair amount. Yeah. That's
But
a
we
lot
just
of what
skipped
I grew
70s
up
and
along.
80s. We'll leave that to the last. That's
Yeah,
good shit.
we'll just jump around with no.
We'll go jump right to the 90s. Screw you guys. We're talking. I'm sorry.
Different era, bro.
Christopher, what's your favorite album cover, though? Let's get that.
My
What's your favorite album cover?
favorite album
Not what's
cover?
popular.
That's
Yeah.
a doozy. I do like a lot of modern day art nowadays, especially with Photoshop and all that kinds of stuff. So, I'd probably have to say it's not the evolved. It's not the evolved cover.
Imagine Dragons?
It's an Imagine Dragons. I would probably have to say the Origins cover, if I'm being honest.
Origins one with the portal?
Yeah, just that neat little light effect they had and the ruins in the background. I loved everything. And then you've got that guy with that kind of like Marty McFly jacket on. I thought that was really cool.
The guy, he's the Wanderer, as they call him. He shows up in all the albums except for the Smoke and Mirrors album, but he shows up in all the albums. That's that figure of the dude.
Yeah.
He's in Night Visions, Evolved, and soon to be Mercury Part 1. So,
Oh.
me and Christopher here. We're both real big fans of Imagine Dragons.
That
But
we are.
I'm gonna leave mine to last. But Christian, what's your favorite album cover? Favorite one? It doesn't have to be a popular one. It's
man.
one you like.
That's hard to choose
It's
from.
such a hard one, right?
'Cause
No,
I'm
you
like-
gotta choose one.
I'm sitting right here, and if I could,
I'll give you a top three if you can come up with like three. I know you.
Okay,
can come up
top
with
three.
More.
So one that really just stands out to me that I love is the More of That Jazz by Queen. It's got
More
the
of that jazz. Yeah,
purple lightning bolt with the
it's a nice
words.
one.
Yeah,
I
that
know,
one.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And if we want to jump back, we're gonna jump to the '70s for a little bit. The Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah. that was a
where
pretty nice
you've
one
got
through.
Stevie Nicks and the drummer, I do believe. They're doing the little ballet scene. It speaks to me. I like that one. And then a third.
You don't need to pick a third. If you could just go with two, that's good.
No, I mean I'm right now literally flipping through my
You
albums,
got a
but
bunch on you.
yeah, you saw the ones that I have underneath my desk. I'd have to say Pearl by Janis Joplin. That's another one of my favorite albums because it's her on a wrinkly backdrop sitting in some fancy chair from probably the 60s, and one of her it's her style. She's sitting there and she's smiling.
Yeah.
Which that's another lady I could talk for a couple of hours on. She's just fantastic.
Episode 3.
Ooh.
So
We might get
James,
specific.
same question. Album cover, favorite one.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I feel like you
Toss-
and I are about to say the same one. That's the thing.
The
But go on.
first one for me, it's either a toss-up between Ride the Lightning from Metallica or For Justice for All by Metallica.
Okay,
Because-
Metallica.
Ooh,
one.
Justice
That's
for
not
All,
what I
that's
thought
a
you were
nice
gonna go
one.
with. That's good. That's good.
'Cause-
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. I like that one. Another one that I like by them is the Puppets, Master of the Puppets or something.
Oh, I
It's
love
like
that
all
song.
the graveyards.
Absolutely
All
love
the
it.
graveyard cover?
Yeah,
Yeah, with
that's
the
iconic.
With the
That's a good
strings
one.
and the hands and all that.
Yeah. Second one. Oh, fuck. I have to go with
You don't have to pick two. We were just doing that for Christian because I know full well it's hard for him to pick one and settle on one because he's got like a whole knowledge full of like things. But
Ooh, also-
go for a second one. Go for a second one. Then.
My Chemical Romance, one of their albums. I can't remember
Black
which one.
Parade.
Black Parade, yes.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
I like the
I'd
simplicity of that one. That's what mine is about. It's not that one. I'm just saying the simplicity of it, and I like it.
Yeah,
I like the story that it tells. A little story
that's
in the background.
that's what I'm gonna go for. Them two or three. You know what I mean?
We interrupt this program to barking dogs. I'm joking.
Woof woof.
Woof, woof. So my favorite, I'm gonna go with a Queen one, just like Christian. Mine is the News of the World with the robot.
Oh,
he
I
looks
knew
like he's
Oh,
killed
that-
when he has
I
his
knew
hand.
Yeah,
hand
I
down.
like
It's
that
like
one.
Freddie Mercury's like kind of fainted, like he's dead, and some of them are like climbing up him, trying to like save him and stuff like that. And the robot just looks so concerned and so confused. It's this Iron Giant, like devastating kind of devastated look to him. But he's a monster, but he's also like a gentle giant, and it just I like the iconic, just the hand going down. I like the simplicity of the opaque green to the background. I like it. I really, really think that's one of the most.
I knew you were gonna say
I
that
really
one.
like that one. I like that one. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that one as well. The News of the World. That's a good one. And they've got some good songs on that one as well. Good album. I was
Some
gonna
of
make me a
what-
jokester and be like Green Day, American Idiot. I like Green Day, but like that's one of the most like overused. I hate that look. The heart grenade. I don't know. Like it was cool for its time, but like I think girls ruined that for me. It's just me though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a whole rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
That's a whole different story altogether.
Grunge
They just-
music. What's your favorite grunge music though? Like Christopher, both Chris's. Christopher. Grunge music.
Grunge music.
Do you like grunge music or no?
Um,
I'm not
I like-
the biggest fan.
I
of
like
grunge
all
music.
kinds of music, so long as it's not rap. I've tried
Oh, so
rap.
you like
I really
rap?
have. I like I said, I like
There
all
are
kind
some
of
good
music.
rap though from the '90s. The '90s rappers like when Will Smith was rapping, that was good.
I
that was
just,
good
DJ Jazzy Jeff, that's good stuff.
I don't know. It might just be me, but I've
50
tried it. I
Wu-Tang Clan.
really have. I cannot get into rap, whether it's past, modern,
We're
or
white
whatnot.
boys, everybody.
Oh my god.
Can't you tell?
Yeah,
But,
rap is just mm-mm.
Mm-mm, we'll
Especially
talk-
the new stuff.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
For grudge, though,
It's up,
I
and
don't
it's
really
up.
know if it falls into the grudge.
No.
I know that.
Isn't Slipknot grunge music, or is that just like
No,
banger
Slipknot
music?
Yes.
isn't.
I guess it really
Slipknot
depends
metal.
on what we classify
It's
as
more
grudge.
metal, yeah.
Because when
Yeah,
I think
Slipknot's
grudge,
metal.
I think like I don't know, something like the Foo Fighters and shit like that. So yeah, so
That's what I was about to say. I don't know what considered grunge because at one point they said AC/DC was grunge, and I'm like, the fuck it is. It's more metal, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
AC/DC is more metal, right?
Sort of
Like
metal.
hard-
It's hard rock.
It's hard rock.
Yeah, you could
And
label it
then
under
there's-
hard rock.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Metal
it's
is more Metallica and Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
the pioneers of like metal.
Iron Maiden? Who came first, Iron
Yeah,
Maiden or
'cause-
Metallica?
ooh.
I think Metallica, because they've been doing it for over 30 years, probably more than that.
Like,
Yeah,
I
they were in
think
the
Iron
80s.
Maiden. Iron Maiden's they're close with them.
when I
And
think
Iron Maiden would be
grudge,
quite close.
I probably think
Who
the
do you think's more
Misfits.
popular? Misfits?
Oh.
By
They're
far, by far,
81
I'd say
was
Metallica.
Let's see,
Metallica
Iron
is way
Maiden.
more than Iron Maiden because Iron Maiden's actually a British group. Came out of Britain.
Iron Maiden was first. Iron Maiden was in 1975, and Metallica
I'm surprised
was
by that. Well, not too far then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, but Iron Maiden went
shit.
more.
Look at the Way of the Samurais, their new album. Look at the cover if you guys get the chance to look that up. Holy shit. That's pretty cool. They're still making
Yeah.
music, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Holy
props to them
cow.
if you're
Oh, yeah, Metallica
40
hasn't
albums,
stopped.
including 16 studio albums, 13 live albums, and 4 EPs.
Mhm.
Wow, holy
They
shit.
never stopped. They've
Wow.
longevity.
right.
But who do you think?
Still, it's like AC/DC. They came out with a
I'd say
Good
Metallica
album.
because they're more mainstream, but like they're
Yeah,
both
they
popular, you know. But
you'll
I'd
hear
say
both on the
Metallica.
radio, but I will say the Iron Maiden, at least in America, or my bad, I got them backwards. Metallica, at least in the United States, is more popular.
Yeah,
Like, if we had Lane in here, Lane would just be blabbering on.
Oh,
for
he would
hours
go on
about-
and on and on.
I
Lane,
know.
if you're listening to this, you missed the call date for this. You would have been in this episode.
I know
Next
you could have
episode,
talked
Lane.
all you wanted about
Get Lane in
Metallica.
here. You're gonna talk. Oh, I want you to talk about your fucking metal music. We're gonna do that next episode. But Christopher, I have a question for you. I'm trying not to get the two of you mixed up. Sometimes it's hard. So I just say Chris for both of you. Crazy. Christopher.
Yes.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna ask. The movie Dirt, Netflix. Movie. That's what topic I wanted to.
Ah.
Netflix movies, not Netflix movies, but necessarily, but movies that focus on a band or a specific member of a band or something like that. What do you think? Because there's good movies and then there's bad movies. Apparently, Dirt is bad. Is Dirt bad? Yes or no? You know more about this band than I do, so.
For Motley Crue, personally, I didn't mind it. I know that lots of people themselves say that, like, oh, it's not completely 100% accurate and whatnot. That there were some things that were completely just made up and shit like that. But at the end of the day, all that did was just make me kind of care more about the band, and so it served its purpose. And I was like, I just knew Motley Crue for their songs, but instead I started to research it at the time. Unfortunately, my dumb brain doesn't stick to one thing for too long, so can't tell you shit now. Could have told you shit then, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's life.
So, but music movies being movies like the Dirt,
Bohemian
Clouds,
Rhapsody.
Yesterday,
Into the Nether.
Elton John.
That's one.
Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, it was called Rocket Man.
Out of all these
Yesterday.
movies, out of all these movies, which one's your favorites, you guys? Mine's easily Bohemian Rhapsody. Because
I gotta agree with
it
you
is
on that one.
Fucking
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Bohemian.
Are we all
They
just
did-
unanimously Bohemian?
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
He's-
Rocket
Rocket
Man.
out, all right. You're Rocket Man, okay.
Rocket
Why
Man
is
was
that?
Rocket Man was good.
I like
one was
both
good.
of them equally. I think those two are the two contenders. I think the only thing I didn't like was kind of his selfishness, but maybe that's just what they needed for the movie. I found he was a bit selfish in certain scenes and stuff like that. I feel like they didn't focus enough on certain things. Like it's like when he was with his mistress or the girl that he married her, and like if you look at like when they were married for a long time. They made it sound like, oh, he just married her just for the sake of it, for his sexuality, to hide his sexuality, and that was the end of it, and they didn't talk. But they were married, they lived together, and all sorts of shit. I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to her as a person, being like, oh, she was just nothing, and it was like a throwaway thing in the movie, in the film, and I thought, no, there's more to it.
She cared.
Just like for like,
Like Mary in Bohemian Rhapsody, she didn't show
Yeah,
up a whole
exactly.
lot.
she
But
didn't show
after
up a
he
whole lot,
died,
but like it was a very important thing. It was very,
yeah, she
exactly.
was
Those
very
two were
important
very-
because after he
cared
died,
about
she
her.
got everything.
Exactly.
He left
And
everything
the
to
song
her.
"Love of My Life" is written
Yes.
about her, so
Yes.
he cared about her.
He did.
I mean, he trusted her enough to leave his cats
Freddie
with him.
Mercury. Yeah, exactly. People are lost if they haven't seen these movies. If you have not
I know, it's
seen
like
these
Cats,
films,
what?
go see these films, okay? But they're both magnificent films, and both actors do a phenomenal job of
Yes,
embodying
Rami
the
Malek
character that
blows
they
it
are.
away.
Both did a stupid good job. And it's a shame that Rocket Man didn't get as much recognition because guy from Golden, oh my god, it's gonna bug me now. From the Kingsman, oh my goodness, his name. I'm gonna remember it too later. Kingsman movie. The actor, Taron Egerton. I may be butchering that. He did a phenomenal job as in the Rocket Man. As my goodness, my fucking brain. Jesus Christ. Elton John, thank you, God.
You're welcome.
He did a good job. He looked like him, he talked like him, he acted like him. And I think the two met actually on the set of the Kingsman, the Golden Circle, the second one. Because there's a little bit with Elton John in that film there. He gets like kidnapped. If you haven't seen that film either, go watch that one. That's pretty good. But they met, and then he said, oh, they were doing a biopic about him. He says, I want this kid, because he saw something in him. And fucking blew it out of the water. And then Raimi as Freddie Mercury, I mean, he won an award for it. That's how good he was. And it's
Exactly.
a phenomenal job.
You know?
That being said, with the movies coming forward, do you guys know that the next movie, those two people, the teams that produce those are one and the same? The next film that they're doing is actually going to be, and this isn't the finished title, but it's called Crazy Train.
Oh,
Really?
Ozzy Osbourne.
You're going to be doing
alright.
Ozzy Osbourne, and
Nice.
I am very intrigued to see who plays. First of all, who is playing Ozzy? And
Yeah,
what
that's
they're going to cover because
Ozzy's
all I
gonna
have
be
on the
hard.
film here, the Ozzy Osbourne movie, is that the only thing I have on it is that Sharon Osbourne said it's not going to be some pussy film. Is what she said, which means it's gonna go.
better see a
dig
bat
deep.
get its
It's
head
gonna-
bitten off.
It's gonna dig
If I don't-
deep. It's gonna be like it's gonna be
Eating
his
the
struggle with alcoholism and substance abuse. So.
He's still, oh man, even right now he's still bad on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think he's been pretty good. If you've watched the show where him and his son Jack Osbourne go on like the road trip and stuff, he's sobered up.
His recent songs
Better
about,
than he
I
was.
think it was like Ordinary Man. Actually, kind
That
of
one
that
has
hit
a
home.
little depressing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
nearly
like,
lost his voice,
wow.
Because, like,
It was a good collaboration, that album with Post Malone. I really like him as an artist.
Mm.
Just as an artist, not in rap though.
doesn't he not have
So
cancer or something?
I don't want to ruin anything. It says Amy Osbourne gives update on Ozzy and Sharon's biopic. We're getting ready to start casting. Film was confirmed earlier this summer. It's confirmed that the casting is set to begin on the forthcoming Ozzy Osbourne biopic. The film was confirmed earlier this summer. Blah blah blah. It is going to skip his tuner in the Black Sabbath to go ahead when he left the band in the late 1970s and began dating Sharon. I was going to be more about their relationship.
No, it's still
Oh,
something.
Okay.
The direction.
Come
of
on,
the
Ethan.
film is not coming. I don't
Come
know.
on,
Hopefully, you
Ethan.
know what?
Don't
You know
knock
what?
it.
They've been doing a great job with these kinds of films. Let's see where they go with it.
Yeah, but they would need to do a good job because, like, Ozzy's got a very thick, like, British, like, London accent. It's really broad, like, so he really needs to, like...
Who do you think's gonna play him?
I have no idea, but, it's like, you know, like, his mannerisms, you know, like, you know, the swearing and the Sharon, you know?
I'm looking up now. Who could play Ozzy Osbourne? Don't you fucking dare. One of the photos was dipshit who played Joker in
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
no,
stop.
No, Jared fucking Leto is one of the people they have on here. Don't ever don't put
no,
that dipshit on.
no.
They have
No.
Austin Butler. Austin Butler is an American actor and singer known as James Garrett in Zoe 101. Recently was Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and will be Elvis Presley in the King's biopic. He does look like him. That's crazy.
That's
Well,
cool.
if he's in a biopic about Elvis, he's not going to be. They're doing one about Elvis, huh? The King.
The King. Well, that's
Jared Leto is considered for the role. Christian
Oh,
Bale.
sure. All right.
Hmm.
Christian
That makes
Bale.
sense. If you've ever seen him like lose himself in roles, he's been pretty crazy. He was in Vice recently. He'll get stupid fat, stupid skinny for just about anything.
One of the
Yeah.
things
Russell
that
Brand.
one of the things that I
Russell
really
Brand.
liked about those movies
Maybe.
that when they
Yeah.
were released and so forth was the fact that it wasn't just like, oh, this is the history of them, move on. Like, you actually got to like hear the songs
they didn't
and all
focus.
that kinds of stuff. And it was like neat little Easter eggs that were like in there, and I love that. I was like, it felt like a musical at its core, telling a story about an individual who's into music, and that's like some Inception shit.
Yeah. A story within a story about an artist. It's awesome.
Like-
I think they've really hit gold, and they definitely they really, you can't run out of people to do things on. There's definitely tons of shit. Like we were discussing, me and Christian here, we were discussing the Fleetwood Mac and how they broke up and like all the shit they were going through.
Oh, when they were writing the Rumors album, yeah, we were talking about that the other
and it's
night.
like, dude, that could easily be a fucking movie, dude. How they just kind of didn't really like, and they weren't on speaking terms, and all this crazy.
Like when they were
shit
writing the
they were going
album,
through.
they weren't on speaking terms, and
Like
they
I
wrote
think
an
of the
entire
bands that
album.
deserve a movie. They would definitely deserve one. Fleetwood Mac. I think they should do something about AC/DC and like the Young Brothers and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, because that's a huge transition. Somebody dying like that and then just being like replaced during a tour like that. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And the thing with replacing somebody that abruptly is not a lot of people are going to take that lightly, but it worked. I mean, there was people who didn't take it very well.
Obviously.
Granted, I wasn't alive to live through that. So
But
I honestly think, and here's something that I'm so surprised has not been a film. A film, and we talked about her at the beginning of this episode. Ella Fitzgerald.
that woman could
This
sing.
lady went through hell to get to where she was. She was started in like the early 30s, I think. I'll have to find out. But like, could you imagine going on a stage and all the racial bullshit she had to put up with?
Oh fuck!
And then she starts singing, and you shut your fucking mouth, is what it was.
In the 30s?
Oh, yeah.
That was rife.
It's
I know
great
that
voice
for
in a horrible
fact
time.
That sometimes that she would have to go on stage, and they'd put her behind a almost like a curtain thing, and she was just a silhouette, and people would be like, "Oh, cool, right?" But that's only because she was black, and it was like, that's fucked. Could you imagine that? That's a fucking story to tell.
Without even showing her face because she was afraid of their reaction.
It was like like this is the voice kind of thing. 1917 is when she was born.
Her active years was 1934 to 1994. So she was singing all the way up until she died.
Fuck.
She died in 96.
Jesus
Louis Armstrong as well, yeah.
Louis Armstrong, yeah.
That man.
That man.
What a wonderful world.
Isn't it just?
Does she have a movie? Hold on. She's got a biopic of some sort, like a music documentary, but that's not like a film. They need a fucking
It's not a film. It's more of, it's a biopic.
She would have showed up on Get On Up, the movie about James Brown. Chadwick Boseman plays James Brown in that one.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, too.
That man was soulful, too. I feel good.
He put up with that shit as well, though, too.
Yeah, too,
James Brown.
He also sang Apollo's.
I think it's a bit better to do that because not only is it a race thing, but it's also a woman. So it was a bigger deal.
Yeah, especially the 30s and 40s. It's just right after you get women's suffrage. You have a decade of people trying to get relations with all that. Then you've got this lady who comes out in the 30s. Tensions are still
Man,
high.
whoever takes this idea, fuck you, you owe us money, okay? That's what I have to say. There's like some bozo, he's like, I need a movie idea on FaceApp or I'm fired. And he listens to our dumb asses yakking on about some shit. Fuck you. Braindead Studios, you owe me money. Where's my money, man?
We expect royalties.
We should write movies. Who else, before we jump topics, who else, you guys? Christopher, who do you think deserves a movie? Bands or topics or anybody?
Bands, I don't really know, if I'm being honest. I feel like there's a vast category of just artists in general when it comes to music. And so I would love to hear everyone's story when it comes to that, but that's
you
just
think
me.
They should just keep doing it, do like an anthology of sorts?
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
a pretty cool show.
What about NSYNC?
I'm with Ethan. I think he's got the golden gate keys here. Oh, hey.
He does, yeah.
It just do what you're doing, but make it like an anthology. Make it like hour-long episodes in a show or something like that.
They're movies at that point. Their movies are the anthology.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, there's a couple bands you could hit in like an hour-long episode.
Yeah, like there's some characters that are just not worth talking about.
Yeah.
But,
like Amy Winehouse.
Oh, no, don't you start.
Oh, he's starting.
27 Club.
27 Club, but she ain't the brightest bulb.
I mean, neither was Janis Joplin, you know.
I guess so.
Don't do drugs, kids. But, I mean...
Houston as well.
Yeah.
You know, going off movies and biopics and topics and stuff like that, I really think they should do this and extend it for not just artists. And notice how it's always musicians, though, but I think certain actors as well really deserve it. And one that, like, I'm going off topic here, but I really think they should do something for Robin Williams.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think they should do
something. My god.
Oh, yeah.
Man, was
that would break me down to
phenomenal.
tears.
The hardest thing that would have to be is really, and the thing that the internet and the world at large would have to accept is who the hell they'd have play him.
Yeah, because
that would be a hard
one.
they have to be able to capture that kind of wacky energy that he has. That just, you know, bouncing off the walls.
That man, exactly. Thank you, James. Perfect. Perfect words for art. Well, I think we're going to get into the 70s and 80s, but I think we're going to also be a lot of comparison to how that music really is a whole thing that kind of hasn't really been recaptured, because now you have songs nowadays and the influence is semi there in some bands and the rest is just kind of lost on others. So the question is, 80s and 70s, Christopher, you take us away. You know the most. You love this shit. When it comes to the 80s and 70s, I know so many songs, and then I don't even realize that's the band. And this is hard to cover, and that's why I want everybody that's watching this, go ahead, comment down below. What do you think we should cover next? Do you want us to continue to do songs and music and stuff like that? Or what should we do? But 70s and 80s, Christopher, take us away.
So, if we're talking about the 70s and 80s, one thing that I really want to talk about, for the most part, is Genesis and Phil Collins.
He needs a movie too.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah, right?
Let's give everybody a movie.
No, before we get started, hold on. Philly Collie, Mr. Philly C did not have to fucking go that hard on the goddamn George of the Jungle, Tarzan.
He was hard.
Why did I say Georgia? Tarzan soundtrack. He didn't have to go that hard, but you know what, guys? Hold on, moment of silence. He did that for you. Okay? Yes, you sitting at home. Yes, you working in the stalls right now and scrubbing the toilet and looking up and saying,
I think that's so awesome, just because, like, I honestly want to see, like, I want to look this up as well, but I want to see and I want to hear. What was the story with, you know, like, him and Genesis? Like, how exactly did, you know, like,
how did that come to be? I actually do not know. Do you know anything, Christian?
I don't, but one side comment my English teacher, she gave her a comical joke about it. She was like, Phil Collins looks like somebody dad said, let's start a band, and it actually worked.
It actually
Yeah.
worked.
And then looking at it like that now, it's like I can't unsee somebody's dad.
Okay, so here's the reason. Phil Collins decided to leave Genesis in 1993. They could not become that much bigger, so he felt that he could not sing Genesis songs anymore. He wanted to sing things he could relate to. Also, he was tired of having to wow whole stadiums with just the band himself and wanted to become more niche on his own. So he just kind of did it because he just outgrew Genesis. They don't seem to have any hard feelings for it. He just wanted to continue to do stuff where some band members, according to this, just was happy enough retiring.
At least they were content.
I can't fault him for that. You know.
No, you
So
can't
his
fault a man for
voice
wanting to better
is
himself.
just gold. Like, oh my god.
Goldmine, man, he's good.
Yeah,
He's
Smart.
one of those people. It's sort of like when it comes to people, when it comes to acting and talking and like voices in general. You're like, oh, that's so and so because they have such a unique voice. One in particular is John Rattenberger. He does the voices of characters in Pixar films, and he's always kind of like one of those. He's one character in every Pixar film, and you kind of always spot him because he's got such a unique voice. I think the same could be said for Phil Collins. You know when it's Phil Collins. Even when it's him on his own or when it's with Genesis, he's got a unique sound to him.
Another and this was really the time when people were like they were exploring just like different sounds and different avenues, and it was really
Different
cool
qualities
and
and stuff like that.
really
They were the ones to
creative.
fuck around with the like the synthetic drums
Yeah.
as well. And like everybody can shit on people for doing this, and like I know a lot of people kind of dog on Imagine Dragons with their synthetic sounds and stuff like that. But here's the thing: there's no room for hate when it comes to music. Everybody understands what other people like, and there's no need for that shit. But if that's the case, why is the most iconic drum fucking solo from the Genesis considered acceptable, but then other bands that play around with synthetic sounds, why is that not? So
yeah.
check yourself, bitch.
Another band that really caught my eye just from the vocalist alone. Not saying that there wasn't other stuff going on, because there was certainly other stuff, but Men at Work, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The safety dance
And there's
song.
the thing is that
Love
it's one of those things where a lot of people just think, Land Down Under is their only song. It's like, no, they got that, and they've got a word. And I think that's one thing that you've said in particular, Christopher, is that if you like a band, go check out the band. Don't just listen to their greatest hits and be like, well, I don't like that shit, right? And here's the thing, is that I think you should explore every band. If you can find one song that you like, explore that artist. Explore that band. Check them out, see what they've got to offer besides the mainstay radio stuff, because you might be finding yourself a straight up fucking legend or somebody in music that you really kind of grasp. And that's all music throughout all the generations. So check out your favorite artists, guys and girls.
I mean, a great way to do that, not saying to collect records like me, but,
He's
you
trying to
take that
peddle his
record,
records.
you take that record, you throw it on side A, drop that needle, let it go till it stops. Or,
Yeah,
well, it's not
don't
going to stop, but
and
go
be like,
until
I
it,
want the blue part.
I want the fourth song because it's the Come Together song
Yeah.
on
I
Abbey
don't
Road.
like every other song.
Even though Here Comes the Sun is on Abbey Road, I'm going to skip that one because,
Who's your favorite 80s band and 70s band that are still around today? That
That's a
still
tough
either
one.
make music or still going about? Chris?
I don't know. I don't know if this counts.
Both
I don't know if
Chris's?
this counts because last time I hear he was kind of losing his hearing, so I don't know if this counts.
No shit, really.
But Huey Lewis in the News.
Huey Lewis
100%.
in the News.
Rock
That's good.
Heart of rock and roll. It's a good one. I like them.
Rock and roll.
I
Yes,
love
definitely.
all of their
They're still
songs.
around.
I cannot. I can't get enough of them.
Can't
If
get
I
enough, huh?
ever get a chance to see them live, you know I'm taking that opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
Check to see if they are still around. If they really do gotta go do it.
Oh, I definitely am gonna be after this because that got me thinking.
Got you gushing over music, right?
Yeah.
What about you, James?
Ooh, 70s and 80s.
70s and 80s. People that are still around today that are either still making music or still alive and still performing their old stuff. Who around you is doing that you like?
I suppose I would say Black Sabbath to a degree.
Black Sabbath. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, he's
I don't
still
know.
making music.
He's still making music, kinda. He's still doing a bit of collaborating, even till this day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't he do something with Post Malone?
he did, yes, he did. That was really good. Pretty good. It was a nice mix of old and
Yeah.
new, you know what I mean? You don't get that a lot, you know?
That's good. That's good. And Christian, this for you. Obviously, I'm assuming you've
This
got several. You got
this
several,
was
or
kind
you
of
gotta
hard
go
for
with
me
one?
because some of the ones that I do really like, either they don't make music anymore or they're dead.
Okay, so
But one of them, I
that
guess you could
doesn't
say
count. We're
that
going with things. 'Cause
is.
if it was dead and counted, I'm going with Queen.
Well,
Yeah,
I
of course.
was actually going to say Queen because they're still
They're
playing
still
music.
going,
They just
but,
have
like, no offense.
they
like,
have a
if
horrible
you're listening
frontman.
to this, Adam, fuck you. No.
No, they have a god awful frontman. I'm sorry, but he does not do
you don't
Queen
like Adam, huh?
justice.
Dude, you're an
Not at
American
all.
Idol
Not in the
little
slightest.
sweetheart. Good for you, but I don't know. I don't really care for your renditions of their songs. I listened to the new song that they did that was just them, and that's actually pretty decent. That's just them and him, and it's new. But like anything where he's just kind of rehashing Freddie's stuff, I don't know. I can't.
Because-
I can't do it.
I'm a little picky dickhead, and I don't like a whole lot of covers of songs or other people
Yeah.
singing the
Oh
original
yeah, no.
people's
I've
songs.
heard some stuff. He's butchered some stuff.
Like
I'm into it.
a good example of someone who does a great cover is Freddie Mercury when he went solo and did "The Great Pretender." He sung it in a way where
Yeah.
it was him singing, but he enunciated everything for the most part the same way, and it kept the same tune and flow. The thing with Adam Lambert is that's right? That's his last name, Adam, whatever.
Lambert.
Adam Lambert, yep.
He's not doing that. He's changing the high notes in some things and dragging out notes longer than Freddie would have in different spots. I don't like that because it doesn't. Because you're used to the song flowing a certain way, and when he's changing that, it just it throws it off, and I don't like it.
No, I hear you 100%. I'm right there with you. But without going to that one, what is a band though? I'm sorry we cut off and we went on a tangent again. What is your favorite 70s, 80s band that's still alive, still kicking, still doing stuff?
I can't say Led Zeppelin, but Robert Plant still does some shows here and there from Led Zeppelin. But like I said, most of the ones that I like from the 70s, they're either dead or they don't perform anymore. So.
But there's got to be one that's still kind of alive and kicking, or still going around doing stuff.
Ted Nugent.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Hey.
I think I'm about to pecker slap everybody
yeah.
with mine. I don't mean to be the pissing contest, but I
This
got
is the
mine
What
here.
you got? What you got?
Pissing contest. This is the one where you're like, oh god, I'm gonna change my Hall and Oates, boys. Are you kidding me? Those two are still alive, still kicking it, and they're still performing, and they're coming live to Florida soon in September. So,
Really? Where at?
Tampa. And I'm gonna go.
Let's go to Tampa.
I'm looking to do that as a birthday thing, as a birthday gift for myself. August 16th.
Fuck yeah.
Oh
about
shit!
this.
My birthday's out on the internet. Don't fucking rape me. All right.
We'll talk about this later, though, for sure. Well, the
So
Hall and Oates thing.
70s and 80s. I want to cover more, but I feel like we've gone through a lot, and I think this is definitely a topic that at least all of us are pretty fond of.
Oh
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
We kind of.
Can I ask you guys something?
Can we take a quick touch back to the 60s?
If
Because we kind of brisked over the 60s.
Jump around, man. Jump
Really,
around. Let's talk about shit.
We didn't really hit the 60s enough as I would like.
All right. Well, what about Christopher? What's Christopher thinking about the 70s and 80s? Any other bands you want to cover or talk about?
Oh no, mine doesn't have to relate to. My question doesn't have to relate to 70s or 60s. So
what's your question? What's your question?
My question is,
question?
I'm more or less curious about this. Have you guys ever found a song, it can be from any time, that has messed with you so well that you kind of like broke down and that became your mood?
Yeah, like really mess with how you're feeling. Yeah, during some major breakups and things through life, there's some songs that I played through the song on the radio. I'm a girly girl, so any songs like that girl or songs by like Torn, that fucked with me when I was driving home from a breakup once. That sucked.
Ooh.
See, with me, I try not to have music relate to
that's
upsetting,
thing, though. That's the problem.
upsetting
that
things.
If you do that, you'll but it's hard not to. That's why I probably choose girly music, because like I don't really have to hear it all the time, and because I'm always listening to CDs.
I think for me would be, mine would have to be "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra. Just because.
We didn't even cover Frank. Fuck, he needs a movie too. Shit. See, this is gonna be a series. I'm calling it. We're calling this a series.
But no,
I know
for me, it's "That's Life"
too,
by Frank Sinatra.
We're calling it something else.
Huh.
But
I'll put a little voiceover at the beginning of this, in which case this is pretty weird. Which means you're from the fucking future. Look at you, future man. No, look at you. Look at you. Go into a mirror. I want you to look in a mirror. You're sexy, okay? And
you cleaning the bathrooms. Go in the mirror.
You are, but I love you. Thanks for listening. We're retarded. I'm retarded. I don't know. Back to the episode.
But like I was saying about the "That's Life" song by Frank Sinatra, for me it's very emotional for me, because around the time had some stuff go on, lost two really close friends. They didn't die. They just kind of like
you grew apart.
Pretty much cut me out for something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's a like my class ring has "That's Life" on the inside engraved on it, and all of our senior quotes were quotes from that song, and
kind of all blowing
emotional
up
stuff.
That's pretty heavy, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
James, what about you?
But that song really helped because, like he says, "That's life, man." It's really iconic.
If I have anything to say about all this stuff, is that if you go through life, everybody, listen here and listen good. Be happy with the friends that you have. Be kind to people. And, sometimes you grow apart from people, but you will go through life, and you will come out of school, come out of college, come out of life with maybe one good friend. And whether that be through the internet, through school, long-time friend, then they've moved away. Cherish the friends you have, okay? With that said, James, what's yours? What's one of yours that kind of does it for you? What gets you like a little girl?
I had several, because...
What slaps you on the bum-bum?
Another one I want to touch on.
Whenever I was going through my depression, I had several. A lot of the...
Well, don't bring up all of them. Don't depress everybody now. Come on, one is enough. Don't...
Let's see, one. Another Life by Motionless in White.
Not familiar with the song, but I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
It's
same thing for me.
That, or I just don't know that's what it's called, and I'm just an idiot. So
probably.
The group is called Motionless in White. The song is called Another Life.
Another Life, okay.
And it's quite deep, because it starts off with the reimagined version, the theatrical version. It starts off with a piano, and it's quite slow.
It's funny how music really can bring us to a certain point in our life, and that's something that my dad said to me years ago. How certain music can bring you to points that were negative, positive, extreme moments, remembering specific events in time, and it's crazy. Music does so much for so many people, and I'm sure everybody has that. If you are listening still, in the comments. Let us know some songs that are like mean a lot to you, whether it's positive, negative, emotional, good. Let us know. But Christopher, what was yours again?
Mine would have to be Vienna by Billy Joel, but
Ooh.
the one that
Oh,
like
that is
really hit
That's a good one.
the one that like really hit my heartstrings was the cover version of it by Ben Platt because he's got such an amazing singing voice, and anything related to Ben Platt can just break me down to tears, which is why I'm really excited for the
Was he
musical
putting
that
out
he's
something?
in. Yeah,
Oh shit!
uh
Awesome.
coming out in a musical called Dear Evan Hansen, and I saw the trailer for it, and it fucking broke me down. It's not like oh it's
I
kind of like
think
you
I
feel
saw something about
sad
that
and
recently.
happy at the same time. It's a weird
It's a
mixture.
feel-good movie.
Yeah,
We'll play around this
exactly.
point. We didn't even get into musicals. That we're gonna save that. We're gonna save
No.
that for another time.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
save that.
another
That's gonna
topic.
be the jumping off point for the next episode. And with all of that being said, there's so much I want to say, but I think we've ran the clock quite a bit. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, if you have any specific songs or some sort of thing that means a lot to you in your life, positive, negative, well, let's hear about it in the comments below. Let us know how you feel about movie documentaries and what you think of what we should do going forward. Who do you think should play Ozzy Osbourne? I want to hear it all. I'm going to read about it in the comment section down below. But with that being said, thank you guys again for watching. I'm Ethan. My co-host James.
See ya.
We've been here with my artist in chief of recording,
Yo.
Christopher, and Christian, our special guest with Music Thing, who's going to become a mainstay staple on the show here because we had a great time. And thank you guys all,
Absolutely. Yeah.
my hosts
I
here,
appreciate the
for kind
opportunity,
of
man.
Yeah.
putting up with my goofy shit where I like automatically like break in all of a sudden, or the weird shit where I talk about like a listener, and then just knowing about like it's normal. I
Yeah.
find some great humor in that.
Yeah. I
That being
mean,
said,
anything that lets you talk
yeah,
about what you're passionate about, I'm
if
all
you're
for it, man.
passionate about some stuff, this is something we're
Absolutely.
passionate about. Let's make this a reoccurring thing. But thanks again. I can't thank you guys enough for sticking with us for however long this ends up being. But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next time on the next podcast and next show. Peace.